Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Josh Erdman, CEO of Systems and Marketing Solutions. I'm getting a late start today. I'm doing my weekly Facebook Live to talk about marketing tips. And we're doing a series of digital marketing FAQs. And I'd love to have some of your questions. Where I'm starting today more is a website focus. Today we're going to look at some of the FAQs. We're in digital marketing, and I frequently get asked the question, do I need a website? Having a website today is as important as having a phone number has been when yellow pages were relevant in the 60s, 70s, 80s. If you didn't have a phone number, people couldn't find your business. They couldn't call you to get directions. The same thing exists for websites. There are very small companies out there that I actually have a couple friends that have very thriving businesses that don't have a website, but it's for the niche. It's for interest groups, hobbyists that are willing to pay a premium to support their hobby, and it's something that he supports with them. So there's a very direct relationship there. But for everyone else, 90%, 95% out there, yes, you absolutely need a website. And a big portion of that is because everything is found through search engines. If you want to have a presence on Google Pages, there's a section to put your website. If you are a chamber member and you list your company name, you list your address, your phone number, and your website. And all of these different things point back to your website. Your website literally is the foundation, the digital foundation of your company's existence. So having a website is extremely important. You want to make sure that your website is fast. And Donald Miller has this pretty awesome video. You can find it on YouTube if you do a search for what's called the grunt test, Donald Miller reviews. And I'll actually post it in the comments of this video when I'm done. And he has this grunt test about websites. And if you follow this rule, this test, you can make a very simple but effective website with people's engagement. And it has to do with 3 rules. You have 5 seconds for people to learn these 3 things about your website. Number 1, what it is that you do. It sounds so simple, but if you are a company that is catering, but when you go to the website, we don't see the food that you cater, we see a picture of your beautiful building. That does not immediately convey what you do. So it needs to immediately tell people what you do. Number 2, how are you going to make my life better? Just saying we make food or we make the best food may not really convey how you're going to make my life better. Are you focused on price and you do it for a very low price? That would be specific. Is it the highest quality food, or is your service and experience for the event I'm trying to put on the advantage? And that's what's going to make your life better over any other competitor or caterer that I go with. And number 3, what I need to do next to engage. So that would be the call now button. That would be sign up for a free proposal, schedule a free on-site consultation, those kinds of things. It's amazing how many websites fail what's called the grunt test. And they call it the grunt test because they're really trying to help people understand someone who is a caveman. They have a laptop in their lap and they have 5 seconds to figure those 3 things out. Without scrolling, there's no scrolling. 5 seconds, no scrolling. What do you do? How are you going to make my life better? And number 3, what do I need to do next? So that should give you an idea in that first FAQ of, do you need a website, and what are the simple things to make sure your website's relevant and very effective? The last question I'm going to address today has to do with websites as well, and that's people asking me the question, how do I rank first on Google? And they keep the question very open. It's such a broad question. And that's sort of like asking, how do I win the Olympics? And you're not specifying if it's Winter or Summer Olympics. You're not specifying what sport. Same thing goes with websites as well. How do I rank first in Google? In what search term? That's what really matters. And you probably, if you have a business that's been in existence for a while, you're probably getting a lot of robocalls. I get them all the time. Here we are, Google experts. We help people with Google all the time, and I get phone calls saying, that this is Google, and Google doesn't make phone calls, but we get calls all the time, supposedly from Google, saying that they can help us rank first on the Google search engine. And I've talked to people who have paid money for that. And what they're doing really is some mild optimization to rank first for your name. Back to our catering company, if you're Clarissa's Catering of the Central Coast, and that is stated on your website, you already rank first for your name, because there's no other people out in the world that have that business name. So that's all you're paying for, and you probably already have it. The other ones, ranking first needs to be specific. If you want to rank first for catering on the Central Coast or caterers near me, that is the first thing that needs to be defined. When someone talks to me and they say, how do I rank first on Google? I answer their question with a question. The question is, for what search term? Because when you are specific and you get a search term, then you can put a plan together. Is it possible to rank first on Google? Absolutely. You just have to decide how big of the battle it is. The Central Coast is full of weddings. There actually is something called CCWP, the Central Coast Weddings Professional Network. So there are, over 100 vendors of photographers and caterers and rental companies and DJs. And if you are competing against 30 different competitors, well, now you have quite the battle. You want to rank first on Google as a caterer against the other 30 caterers. Now you have to answer the question, what do I need to do different on my website to make my website more relevant to Google than all the rest of my competitors? And that's where it's going to get difficult. Ranking first for your name's probably easy, but ranking first against 30 other people for caterer on the Central Coast, that's going to be more difficult. So that's where to rank first might be a more niche play. Maybe you can rank first for Mediterranean catering on the Central Coast. That would be a more realistic goal to go after first. There's some cheats. A lot of times people aren't going to rank first no matter what they do. A typical industry is plumbers. There are more plumbers than you can throw a stick at, shake a stick at, I guess is the term. And you're never going to rank first for your area. There's just too many things are shifting all the time. So how do you get your business showing up on a relevant result? And instead of ranking first in organic, that's where you pay. You show up in the ads. And that's also another confusion. People are frustrated because they're not first, but they're not realizing that they're not going to be above the ads. You have to pay for those positions. So depending on the way they're asking me the question, ranking first for some people means buying the ads. And that's what we do. We're Google AdWords experts. It's now called Google Ads. We help people participate in the pay-per-click advertising after we've made sure that their website is set up, answers those 3 questions, and runs relatively fast. So if you're looking to rank more on Google, if you're still trying to figure out how you get your website to be very effective and answer those grunt questions, by all means, ask more questions in this video here. We'll answer those in our FAQ next week on Wednesday. I'm still looking for a lot more questions. We'll probably talk more specifically about some of the pay-per-click advertising and digital tactics that are used. But as you can see, we're just getting started and there's a whole lot to talk about. So anyway, have a great Wednesday, and I look forward to answering some more questions next week.